Hey guys, Paul here. I'm back. And yeah, as you can already tell, I'm going to be talking about something a little different. There are two pathways to Warhammer. You might be thinking like, how did the mini look like that, or what's his backstory? If you're a World War II fanatic, right, you obviously connected to it on some deeper level. Maybe you watched a documentary when you were 5 years old and then you fixated on Zero, for example, or a Tiger 2, right, or something along those lines. But maybe you even had a grandfather who served, if you're old enough, right? So that's one way to think about it, to connect to your models on a deeper level. And one of the ways to do that, actually probably the main way to do it, are the books, the lore. Two pathways, if you're interested in the mini, if you're not interested in the mini. And the easiest way to go about it is, at least if you're interested, is buying the individual army codexes. These army codexes have, well, obviously the art and the lore, but also beautiful imagery of said army. There's so much lore. It's actually insane. But obviously its main purpose is to provide stat lines, data sheets, and such for your specific characters, detachment rules for your army. See data sheets. About 45% of this book are rules, data sheets, and whatnot. The rest would be drawings and lore specific to characters of that army that you're interested in, or faction actually, if you don't care about building. So yeah, that's why you would buy these codexes, though do be warned, again, nearly half of these books are often rules, and if you don't care about building, this is probably a wasted purchase, though there are some really good lore in them. All right, now the easy part is done. We're going to be talking about the beginner books. First one, Horus Rising. This is it. Actually, why 40k is the way it is. Why the Imperium is so rotten. How did it get there in the first place? This is it. And it's called Horus Rising in a series called Horus Heresy. So it's no secret that Horus betrays the Emperor. Now you're like, who the heck is Horus? Basically, 12-foot tall psychic man who's immortal, called the Emperor. Yeah, we don't even know his real name. Emerged from Earth after roaming on it for like 5,000 years or something. He emerged at a time of great need called the Age of Strife. He reconquered Earth because it was such a wasteland at this point. He made 18 gene sons through genetic and magic sorcery. And yes, he made sons, 18 of them, called Primarchs. One of them, his favorite son, Horus, or Horus Lupercal is his full name. These 18 sons, the Primarchs, are very powerful. They're basically just bigger Space Marines. They're just like their dad, like 10, 12 feet tall, physically imposing, can lift hundreds of tons. Some of them are even psychic, almost as powerful as their dad, who's probably the best psychic to ever psychic in humanity's history ever. And there's 18 of them. Horus is one of them. And it tells the story of how Horus rose to power and then fell, and how he rebelled. It's not really a spoiler. I mean, the name is Horus Heresy, right? It's no secret that's not a spoiler. In fact, the book starts, and I quote, I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. It starts like that. Literally, it says that. So what a hook, right? It starts like that. And it even does the Dune thing in the books anyway. Gives you a list of all the characters, right? Garviel Loken, that's here somewhere, I can't see. He's probably the main character of the book, aside from Horus. And other Primarchs, others Emperor's sons, and their legions, they make cameo appearances. So if you're a fan of other legions like the Imperial Fists or the Blood Angels, they make an appearance here. If you're going to buy anything else, you buy this. Seriously. Infinite and the Divine. This is by Robert Rath, a very good author in Warhammer's long storied history, rich history of authors being commissioned to make lore for them, write books. He is one of the favorites. And this tells the story of not the humans, this is before humans, called the Necrons or the Necrontyrs, the robot guys, the Egyptian robot guys. Surprisingly, a very funny book, and this goes beyond human years, as I said, millions of years before humanity. So it goes over the whole timeline, because Warhammer started with them. They are literally the beginning. I would say the genesis of everything. This is it. The Necrontyrs started it all, millions of years before humanity took flight, even before the Emperor. This is it. And it tells that story, how they were flesh and how they were betrayed, turned them into robots, their rise, fall, rise again, and then their fall again. The war in heaven sounds epic. It tells that. The reason why it's called Infinite and the Divine, it's kind of an overview of the galaxy as a whole, why it is the way it is, and it's so beginner friendly, very funny actually. Now these two are beginner friendly as well, but they focus on Horus's brothers, other Primarchs. One, Lion L. Johnson of the Dark Angels, the very first Legion, and the other, Guilliman, Rabute Guilliman of the Ultramarines. Ever wonder why packaging material has blue Space Marines? Well, he's their gene father. And again, Primarchs are the Emperor's sons, and the Emperor took the Primarch's blood and made 18 Space Marine legions, one per Primarch. So you can say that the Space Marines are the sons of the Primarchs. They're like son, father, grandfather, and they focus on two different legions. These are basically one of the most modern lore. Yeah, these are modern lore. Came out last year, 2 years ago, 2.5 now. This is it. Warhammer books, at least the through line plot is very slow moving. It actually stagnated for entire spans of editions, but 9th and 10th have been very fast. So if you're going to start in modern 40k, pick one of these two. The Lion, I think I would pick first, because in Horus Heresy, the Lion was a different man. He was very angry in Horus Heresy, very paranoid. As such, he was very unlikable. He was an ass. I'm just joking. Anyway, he was very paranoid. And because of that, he was very unlikable. You can't really read through it without being like, oh, this guy makes no sense. But in 40k, 10,000 years later, so Horus Heresy is 30k, he's mellowed out. He's very chill now, relatively chill. He's still a Primarch, so they're still kind of angry. And now, him and Guilliman, it's now their responsibility to lead the Empire in their father's stead. Because, spoiler alert for Horus Heresy, what did they say? I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. He's called the Corpse Emperor for a reason. So, it's not a spoiler either, come on. Yeah, so it's now their sole responsibility to lead a racist, xenophobic, crumbling empire. Again, that's not a thing where it's like politically charged or whatever. It's literally just like that. They say it in the books. It's their words, not mine, all right? Anyway, so it's their responsibility, and they're kind of miserable doing it. So pick your poison. These are very, very good books to start off with. And the reason why I'm focusing on Primarchs so much is Space Marines are the poster boys, and the Primarchs' predisposition to, the Space Marines are predispositioned to be like their dad, the Primarchs, because they have their blood, and the blood is so strong that it genuinely alters their brain chemistry, so they want to be their dad. They can't really help it. So the Lion was very paranoid. His sons are very paranoid. Guilliman, very logically orientated. The joke is that he would play Excel. Yes, play Excel, Microsoft Excel. That's why he has the largest standing empire. And his sons are kind of like that, very efficient, very skilled, no nonsense, kind of. Yes. This is basically it. There are more things I could have said, like the Caiaphas Cain novel, a commissar trying to make it to retirement, but he keeps ending up in the wrong situations. Very funny. Caiaphas Cain is not a space marine, he's just a regular guy. That's why it's so heartwarming and charming. There's also the Eisenhorn novels, which are detective novels. Very good. But I feel like those are honorable mentions. These specifically, I think, are the 4 you should focus on. But if I were to pick one book, it's gonna be Horus Rising. Very good book, one of the best actually. Starts off with a bang again. Horus slew the emperor. That's literally the hook. I can't emphasize that enough. And yeah, Warhammer is vast. But the community is very welcoming, and we often want to get people into Warhammer, like deranged One Piece fans. Like, it gets good, guys, I promise you, after 200 episodes. But anyways, that's it for me today. It's been real, and again, thank you for the positive comments on my last video. Thank you for the support, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.